What's up, friends? Davey here with Davey and Krista, and today we are going to chat about how to optimize the images on your website and ultimately speed up your WordPress website using Imagify. Imagify is a WordPress plugin that optimizes your images. It's actually created by the same company that creates WP Rocket. So if you use WP Rocket and don't yet use Imagify, you've probably seen notifications encouraging you to download and install Imagify. There are countless image optimizing plugins out there. One of the reasons that I like Imagify is that it has a robust feature set and really simple and straightforward pricing. Their pricing structure in particular, I think, is helpful if you have a lot of images on your website that you want to optimize. In an ideal world, you'd optimize your images before ever loading them to your website. However, for those of us who don't have the technical skill to do that or don't want to try to figure that out, or maybe you've had a website for a long time and you just didn't know better when you got started, something like Imagify is a great solution. Something else that I appreciate about Imagify is that if you ever remove the plugin, your images remain optimized to whatever settings you had optimized them using Imagify. Image optimization is only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to optimizing our websites. Be sure to check out our other videos on optimizing your website using plugins like WP Rocket and Auto Optimize on our YouTube channel. As always, I highly recommend creating a backup of your website anytime you're installing a new plugin. That way, if anything goes wrong, you have a version of your website that you can restore to. There is an option within Imagify to create a backup of your images, but I'd still highly recommend creating a separate backup. All right, let's dive into the Imagify settings. When you install Imagify, you'll probably see a dashboard that looks something like this. You'll notice at the top you have some general settings. You can optimize at a normal level, aggressive level, or ultra level. There's no perfect setting here. You're going to want to choose something that optimizes your images, of course, because you want to speed up your website. At the same time, doesn't make your images too grainy. This is going to be especially true if images really matter to what you do. And for most of us, images matter at least on some level, but especially for somebody like a photographer, you wouldn't want to optimize your images too aggressively, because what's going to happen is you're going to have grainy images on your website, which of course for a photographer would look probably pretty bad. So something you'll want to do is probably try the visual comparison tool. This will give you an idea of what the different optimization levels actually look like. For our demo website, we've chose aggressive optimization. Images, of course, matter. We want the images to look good on our website, but it doesn't matter in the same way that, let's say, it would matter for a photographer. So this has worked well for us. I've selected to auto optimize images on upload. That will save me the time having to go back and figure out what images I still need to optimize. And then, of course, I back up my original images. And that way, before they're optimized, just in case the optimization process goes wrong for any reason, I still have those original images. A feature that's interesting for maybe a photographer who wants to keep the camera data in the picture, like shutter speed, exposure, compensation, ISO, you can select this feature here and it will store all that information in your images. All right, as we get down here to optimization, I want to highlight this feature, and that's the ability to create WebP versions of images. So you might have noticed if you've run your website through something like PageSpeed Insights, encouragement to serve WebP versions of images. The idea behind WebP is to create images that are smaller yet richer. All right, so the idea is that we maintain quality yet not slow down our websites. And so this is an initiative across the web in order to make the web faster. You can follow Imagify's guidance here in order to resize larger images. This is what I've selected for my website, but again, personal preference is going to dictate what you do here. As we come down to files optimization, I've selected everything here. Keep in mind, and you'll get a note here, remember each additional image size will affect your monthly usage. So if you're not on an infinite plan, you want to probably weigh whether it's worth it to optimize all of these files here. And then as we scroll down, we can save and go to the bulk optimizer, which is the fastest way to optimize our images. So once we get here, this is how we're going to bulk optimize all of our images. When I first installed Imagify, this is what I did. I just optimized all of the images across the website. Now, remember, in my settings, I've selected to automatically optimize any images that I upload to the website. So this should be now taken care of for me, so I don't necessarily have to come in here and use the bulk optimizer again. So that's pretty much all there is to Imagify. Like I said, if you haven't checked out our other videos on optimizing your website, be sure to check out our YouTube playlist on that topic. Also, there are alternatives out there to Imagify, but I typically find a lot of the alternatives have features that I don't end up using. And so I don't want to pay extra for features that I just don't really need. If you're looking for a plugin that does a great job of optimizing your images, look no further than Imagify. And if you're interested in redoing your website this year, be sure to check out our line of premium Showit and WordPress website designs over at daveyandkrista.com. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing so that you don't miss any future content.